everyone for being here. Good morning, and hello, Facebook friends. We want to say hello. And of course, today the message is peace. But have you ever wondered or thought about what the world would be like if we had Christmas everywhere? You know, that feeling that we get from Christmas is powerful. You know, it's all those attributes that we use for Advent. It's faith and peace and love and joy. And if that was everywhere all the time, it would make a huge difference in how we live. Well, the song I'm using for special music today is called Let It Be Christmas Everywhere. And these are just a few of the lyrics, but I thought they were perfectly on point for peace. And so I'd like for you to read them with me, if you would. Let it be Christmas everywhere. Let heavenly music fill the air. Let every heart sing. Let every bell ring. The story of hope and joy and peace. And let it be Christmas everywhere. Let heavenly music fill the air. Let anger and fear and hate disappear. Let there be love that lasts through the year. Let it be Christmas, Christmas everywhere. Now, we can have Christmas everywhere, and we can have Christmas every day, or the ideas that go along with that, if we choose. It's our choice, right? Yes?
Yes.
Yeah. And we can live in peace, or we can live in the turmoil and the anger and the disappointment and all that yucky stuff that we choose not to live in. At least I choose not to live in it. But there's so many things in the world that we can consider a tragedy, and yes, when these things happen, or when we first see them with our eyes, we might take a gasp, or we might think, oh, and we might even get a feeling within us that is unsettling, that feels like, something's not right within our own selves. But it's our choice. And that energy that happens can be so heartbreaking, and it can make us even go completely opposite of peace if we allow it to. But there is so many things, so many tragedies. There's children being abused, neglected, or starving. There's people living on the streets. There's travesties in politics, the environment, civil rights, etc. I know you guys could name a bunch of stuff. But when these situations stir up something in us, we have to choose how we're going to see it, how we're going to view it. How are we going to take it into our own beingness? Because we're in charge of how we feel and what we choose to listen to or not listen to. So we have to take and decide for ourselves, how are we going to see this? What vision are we going to hold? And we do this a lot during prayer time. We change what somebody has said as not being the truth of the situation to changing it to what is really the underlying truth. We have to look at what the divine idea is behind all of this. So let's practice a little bit, okay? Okay, if we are seeing children being abused, neglected, or starving, we must change our view to what? We must change it to seeing children safe, being cared for, and seeing healthy children. So the minute we have this view, whatever it is, whether we're seeing it or hearing it or observing it maybe even, we have to say to ourselves, almost as if we're putting a bubble around those children and saying, no, I'm going to see them being healthy and cared for. And that energy going out not only brings you peace, but can shift the energy between here and there and change what is happening in that situation. And if you truly have faith, then you will know that and believe that, which was last Sunday's message from Reverend Warren. So let's practice again. If we are seeing people living on the street, we must change our view to what? To seeing people safe and comfortable and having affordable housing for all people. And we can see that happening. We're seeing it now. There are communities that are building tiny homes for veterans, or they're building, they're building areas where that people can actually afford to live. There's individuals giving people homes. There's companies giving people homes that maybe don't have one or never have had one. So we are starting to see a change, and we have to continue to hold that vision. When we go down to Atlanta sometimes, and there's tents out there underneath the highway, and the first thing you want to do is gasp and go, oh God. You know, and I saw a wheelchair next to one of the tents the other day, and then I thought, God, when it's cold, I mean, what, you got to put everybody in one tent to stay warm. I mean, I was thinking all these thoughts, and then I took a breath, and I said, no, I'm going to vision that these people are happy right now, that they are comfortable, that they are healthy, and that they see for themselves their own self-worth, that there's something more for them somewhere, and that it's going to happen. So we have to hold those visions. We have to see it differently than what we've been seeing. We can't go to those places. Here we go. Here's the big one. If we are seeing travesties in politics, the environment, civil rights, we must change our view to what? To seeing fair, trusting, rightful, and respectful actions. And it's our choice how we see things. I mean, the law was set up for us to be able to take care of some of this stuff. And unfortunately, we get caught up in the drama of it all rather than knowing that the law can be on our side, that the law can help work it out, or that there are programs that can help work it out, or that we can do something to help work it out. We had a discussion this week about volunteering and trying to make a difference in the life of people that are in the jail, Rockdale County Jail, and how we could help have some classes or something to help people figure out how they can change their lives. I mean, I was sitting in court, Warren and I were sitting in court with Jesse, waiting for Jesse to come up the other day, and this woman was 32 years old and didn't know how to take care of herself and her kids. And I'm thinking, you know, we have to have some kind of programs or some kind of classes to help. And we've even talked about the different people I talked to this week, which was God bringing them to me. We even talked about we can have classes here on Saturdays so that when they do get out, they can continue to get help and get some education, get some connections to help them be successful in life. So it just takes people coming together in prayer, number one, and two, with ideas, and three, with putting action to it. Our fifth unity principle, put the action to whatever it is God's sending you the message. And it was truly a God thing this week. It really was. None of the people we were going to have this meeting and discuss it. No, it was just different people popping in. Chrissy doesn't even know that, but Maria and Dr. Barbara and I, we all had this big discussion at different times. Like, it was like, oh my gosh, this is my week for talking about this. And me, myself, coming up with ideas about it. But we have to gravitate to living in the truth we know, not living in the drama that we are seeing that seems to come forefront in our mind. We need to take that down and see the truth. That's the difference. That's where we find peace. That's where we find what we need to be doing. You know, Fillmore in Adam Smashing Power Mind said, you know, that we fall short sometimes. And I think we do fall short sometimes. And, you know, that's the human condition. But we can realize that we're spiritual beings. But here's what he says about falling short. If we start any such demonstration and try to apply the I am to personality, we fall short. So if we're making it all about ourselves, I have this great idea for a project, and I think all of you are going to help me do this. You know, I'm making it all about my personality and all about me. I was just synthesizing the divine idea I got sitting in the courtroom, and then Chrissy comes in, we start talking about, and then Maria actually came in and said about volunteering, and then I started saying, this is something that's speaking to my soul. And if it's speaking to my soul, it's not my idea. It's divine idea, and guess what? Other people have that idea too. And we just have to open the doors, swing wide the doors, and let the ideas flow. And who knows what will happen? I don't know. But we can work towards that. We can set goals. But this is frequently the cause of lack of results in carrying out the laws that all metaphysicians recognize as fundamentally true. If you are struggling, if you are trying to do something, you are trying to make something happen, and you are struggling, then you're making it too much about yourself. Simple law. You have to open it up and step back. You know, step back to the divine idea behind it. Don't see children starving. See children being fed. Start holding that vision. If that's all you can do, that's going to be enough. But maybe something else comes forth. Maybe something else comes forth for you to do. But you have to allow yourself to not be the one that's going to make it happen. You have to open yourself up to everyone else that wants to be on the journey with you. And that's the beautiful thing about, I think, unity. We want to join together. We want to be on the spiritual journey together. But I've been thinking a lot about peace, of course, since I knew I was going to have to write about it. And the thing that kept popping up for me was self-esteem. And I thought, peace, self-esteem? In my personality was saying, how do those two go together? And then I went to prayer and meditation and everything, and I was thinking, the lack of self-esteem disrupts our peace, doesn't it? When we don't have enough knowing who we are, that faith that we are children of God, and that we can say something and do something and know that what we're doing is, spiritual, that it's from God, then we end up feeling less than. We feel the lack. We feel like, God, everybody else is cool out there. Everybody else has all the money they need to go buy Christmas shopping, all that they want, and poor me, I don't have anything. We start going in that mindset, just going down the hole, I call it, the rabbit hole. I mean, we can't do that. But that lack causes us to not have peace. We can't have peace if we're living in lack. It's impossible. So there we go. The lack of self-esteem is what robs us of our peace. Here's some things. I can't do it. I'm not worthy. I must be perfect. I mean, that is a big one. A lot of people try to be a perfectionist, trying to make it exactly right. When you have to learn to let go. You have to learn to let go and know that it's all okay. I mean, I've had that recently too. I had to let something go and know that it's all okay. And, Jesse with the cord, I was like, all through that day, the song kept coming, don't you worry about a thing, that. I just kept, and it was like, okay, God, I'm getting the message, but it kept playing over again, that one line, over and over again in my head. And sure enough, I don't have to worry. I mean, it didn't even matter what the outcome will be. I mean, it looks like it's going to be a good outcome, which we'll tell you more about that next week. But saying that over and over again, I found my peace. I found peace in that moment. And you sit there in a courtroom all day listening to the judge come down on some of these people for silly stuff, and some of these people doing major stuff. You're sitting there going, oh my gosh, where's peace in this situation? But your peace is within you. And it changes the energy. And I believe it did. I believe it changed the energy in that room. And the judge started being nicer to people and then, backtracking some of the things he had put on some people. And I mean, it was amazing. But I just kept hearing that line. Don't you worry about things. I just, okay. But we want everything to be perfect. We think we have to do all this stuff in order to make something happen. Sometimes we don't have to do anything. Just be. I'm not good enough. That's a big one. People do that all the time. And the thing is that it's that we go back to that idea of our personality, our own self, making it all about us. So when we look at the idea of the personality, it is about the human self. And the individuality is about our spiritual self. But you might get a little confused if you look at the online dictionary. Because the online dictionary defines individuality as the quality or character of a particular person or thing that distinguishes them from others of the same kind, especially when strongly marked. Notice I got fingerprints up there. People would say, oh, I'm an individual. I'm not like you. But Fillmore says something different. I'm going to share that in a minute. But I want to show you, and how can individuality be that spiritual self if they define it more like a personality or more like who, the dictionary does? Well, the dictionary defines personality as the combination of characteristics or qualities that form an individual's distinctive character. So who we are in the human self is really our personality. And so what we have to do is look at the idea, and I think they sound similar. I mean, some people might not think so, but I think they sound similar, how they define it. But we have to look at metaphysics. We have to look beyond the physical and see what Fillmore was talking about when he said we are all individuals. And here's how he defined it in the revealing word. Individuality is the true self, that which is undivided from God, our spiritual identity, the God part of us. Changes a lot, doesn't it? So all of us are individuals together. You see that? Because in the oneness of God, we are all the same. Our spiritual selves are all the same. We're all one with God. I mean, some people even go as far as to say, which we have said this up here before, but that our spiritual self is God. You know, we are the expression of God here on this earth. Now, how we express goes to our personality, if we are aligned with our human side. If we express from our spiritual side, we will always come through with truth and always express from our individuality. That's what happened this last week when we started talking about this, you know, what could we do for people that are incarcerated that could help them be more successful, instead of going back 4 times for the same thing. Anyway, it was our individuality. It was the Spirit of God moving through each of us in our own divine way, bringing forth ideas that can help pull something together, perhaps, and make something happen that could be really fantastic for every personality. You got me?
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it, when you look at it? And I think when we look at the idea that God is within each of us, and individuality is all of us, and our personalities are just who we are on the human side. Kind of a neat thing. Both are important to explore, though. Don't get me wrong. We have to explore our personality to find more about our spirituality, actually, in some ways. But if we go straight to spirituality, all of that will be revealed. That's why we have these aha moments sometimes. That's what I said about the book Dr. Anna's going to use. You read it and you think you've totally healed from something. She has an Uncle Mike in there. Well, my brother who overdosed, his name was Mike, and we were like twins growing up. And you know, I thought I had healed everything. And reading that book, I was like, whoa, a couple things popped up. And then I was like, wow, I didn't even know I hadn't really, you know, forgiven him. Not really. I mean, I have, but, you know, it was like a little layer. And I was like, whew, got to get rid of that. I don't want that in my life. And it was a spiritual thing. And so that's what the thing is. We can grow and be from that spiritual side. But if we lose sight of our individuality, then we make it all about us and we start talking about I am incorrectly. Because it's the power of the I am that is that individuality. When we say I am prosperous, I am a child of God, I am deserving of good in my life, I am accepting my good, we are talking from our spiritual beingness, not from our personality or our physical sense. From that individuality, that spiritual beingness, that is where peace is, that's where pure love is, that's where joy is, that's where faith is. And when we use those I ams correctly, we are activating all that in our lives, and we will see the results. There will be no lack. There will only be abundance of all that there is. You know, when we use it incorrectly, it's when we get into that whole mess and chaos and disrupts our lives, and we get our feelings hurt, and we can't forgive somebody ever in our whole life. We're never going to forgive them because we've said it before. All of us have said it. I'll never forgive so-and-so, because we get into our personality. But the minute you take a breath and go within to that true sense and essence of who you are, that pure love, that pure peace, all comes forth. And there is nothing to forgive because it's not there. It won't be there. It'll be gone. That's why I said we have to hold these visions of children and homeless people, and whatever it is, we have to hold the vision from the divine idea that we see for them. That's why we always say health or comfort or whatever when we pray. We do it every week, but we just don't do it every day. We've got to start doing it every day. And you might think, you know, oh, I want to do this. We know as metaphysicians that disease, disorders, and germs are manifested in this world as a result of this anger and revenge and jealousy and fear and impurity and many other mind activities that are just based on our personality. If we erase that, it has to be about me, and we can see a bigger picture, nothing will get tangled up in our minds. Nothing will rock our world. Nothing will disturb us. We will live from that peace that passes all understanding. We will. Every breath we take will be that peacefulness. Who wants to live like that? I'm claiming peace for myself right now. I'm telling you that much. Nobody's going to rock my world anymore. Nobody. Don't even try. JW says, don't you do it. She says, don't you do it. All right. So if we want to see peace in the world, we have to be the peace that we want in the world. We have to be. That's the only way we're going to have it. If you have something, you might think that you're not contributing to anything negative around you. But if you have one negative thought, you're contributing. If those you see those children starving and you're thinking, oh my gosh. No. Don't think that. You're contributing. If you see healthy and whole and food and ample needs being met, it's going to change. It will. You will not hold that view anymore. It'll be totally different. I mean, I was envisioning those homeless people out there on the tents having a party out there and just enjoying themselves, singing some Christmas songs and just, having fun. No drugs involved, no alcohol involved, just having fun. And it changes how you view things. It really does. And that's what we have to, and we have to see that that's going to come forth. From Adam's passion and power of mind, a change of mind will change the character of a germ. See how it unwinds itself? So we have to change our thought. Change it. Change it. Say it over and over. Change it. Change it. Yes. Change it. Change it. And then we change how we view things and how we think of something. That's the only way. That's the only way we can do it. But every thought leads to words spoken or thought of or whatever and put into action. And we have to be aware of what we are saying and doing. As a personality, we can make it all about us. In truth, as an individuality, we make it all about God. Big difference. Big difference. And it flows through everything in our life. This is the spiritual law. If you do not like your finances, go back to that idea that, wait, I'm one with God. God is abundant. God is good. God gives me everything I need when I need it. And guess what? You will. You'll get it. It will happen. It might not be the same vision or, looking through your lenses of how you think it would be. But take a breath and realize the good that's coming forth for you. Even for other people, take a breath and see the good that's coming forth for them. Because sitting there in the courtroom the other day, I saw the judge just being a nicer guy as the day went on. And I just kept thinking, I'm going to keep that song going. Don't you worry about a thing, because it made a difference. It changes the energy. And the energy is us being spiritual beings and pushing forth that peace that we need. We don't just need it inside. We need it all around us, everywhere. Oh, I just got goosebumps. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our individuality will tell us that we're rich and that we're talented and everything that we need is right there. The personality, if it starts telling you that you're poor and you're dumb or whatever, please stop yourself. Take a breath. Go wash out your mouth and then change the thought. Because you're not. You are all beautiful. You are all great. You are all talented. All of you. In this room, everybody I know. I tell them all the time, I love you because I really do love you. And I want you to know that love from within. That's the self-esteem I'm talking about, that we have to not live in lack anymore. It will change our worlds if we can live with a healthy self-esteem. We believe that we are spiritual beings. We should all be floating in the sky right now. Floating off of our chairs if we truly believe it. And if you claim faith and peace for yourself, then by golly, you will feel it. You will feel lighter and elevated and just so good. I can't even describe it any other way. Another one from Adam's Passion and Power of Mind. Whoops, sorry, wrong line. To attain prosperity, think about prosperity, industry, and efficiency. Fill your mind to overflowing with thoughts of success. Realize that the fullness of all good belongs to you by divine right. By divine right. To this add a feeling of happiness and joy, and you have the recipe for abundant and lasting prosperity. And I will add to that you will have abundant and everlasting peace and strength and health and love and joy, and back to peace again. Because that's what it takes. It takes just realizing your divine right. Do you believe you're spiritual beings?
Yes.
Yes. Do you believe you're spiritual beings?
Yes.
Do you believe you're spiritual beings?
Yes.
All right. Yay, Dr. Barbara. Bring it down. Well, if you believe that, then your self-esteem will beam the truth of you. Believe that. And that energy goes out beyond you. I know you've seen it in people. You know, I've shared this before that I've seen, Warren used to see auras, colors. I just see the radiant light, like all the Jesus pictures have that radiant light around the head. But if I hear somebody sharing something with somebody and I can sense that it is something spiritual or truth or whatever you want to call it, I just start seeing the radiance come out from around them. And it's the energy that you feel. It is the energy that you know as truth. And that is powerful. If you can see it, then you can claim it for other people too and see it for them. And that's what we have to start doing. We have to be able to have the confidence to know what we believe here at Unity, what we teach here at Unity, what we know as truth, that we can take it out to the streets with confidence, with that healthy self-esteem that we deserve this and so do you. The individuality says, I deserve that, but you do too. Personality say, I'm sorry, I'm the only one that deserves it. See you later. You know, no, we all deserve it. And when we say that and know that, whew, power. We have a powerhouse going. Powerhouse. And that renewed power will get us up and get us going and charge our self-esteem. We will know. We will be beaming our own self-worth, and we will feel the power of God and the energy of God each and every breath we take. It's almost like it changes how you breathe. I mean, we breathe easily and effortlessly without thinking about it, but when you start breathing the Spirit of God, you will feel it coming from you, you know? Like the breath is just more powerful. I want to say like you're giving a TED Talk or something, you know? Everybody talk about these days. But anyway, the true power that we will have will bring such peace within us. And we'll be able to know and affirm, and if you say it with me, I am one with God. I am connected to divine mind. I am confident. I am peace. Thank you for being here today. God bless you. All right, and we got a song for you from Alan Jackson. I didn't say that earlier.